Jose Raul Capablanca versus Alexander Alekhine. Welcome to the World Chess Superbowl. Tonight, what you're about to see is a clash of styles.
Oh, shakalaka! Oh, yes!
Introducing the evolution of style.
Andrei Sakala, Mikhail Tal, Jose Capablanca, William Steinis, Henry Berg, Alexander Alekhine. Before going into the game, let me give you a quick description of each player.
Question number 1. How does a chess player achieve positional mastery? Whether you're playing the opening, middle game, or endgame, you want to play with precision. Second question. When evaluating a position, do you have outstanding positional judgment? Capablanca possessed those skills. He was called the human chess machine. He played both positional and attacking chess when necessary. When you're in the middle game phase, can you see the potential to launch an attack, even in a position in which such an opportunity does not exist? Alexander Alekhine, one of the greatest attacking players in history, could apparently produce combinations at will. In this position, which side would you want to play, black or white? Henry Berg was an exceptional chess player with an aggressive and tactical style. He was one of the elites during his time and proved to be dangerous even to the world's strongest masters. William Steinis was known for switching his style from attacking chess to positional play. He was able to combine elements from both styles. Next is Andrei Sakala. He had a memorable attacking style. He was able to calculate difficult combinations brilliantly and precisely, and he implemented an endgame with efficiency. And lastly, but certainly not least, is Mikhail Tal, aka the Magician of Riga. He earned that title.
Five, four, three, two, one. Let the games begin. And they're off. White offers a gambit. Black is going for a Cambridge springs, which also sets up a trap. Here, white avoids the trap by playing the pawn to e3. Let's go to the variation board. The pawn from e2 to e3. The trap was c takes d5, which is followed by e takes d5. Now this is the trap. Knight takes d5, thinking that black cannot capture the knight because the knight on f6 is pinned. But after knight takes d5, bishop takes d8, bishop b4 check, and white has no other choice other than to return the queen. Check, and black is a piece up. Halftime is over, and we're back. Now it has been said that bishop d3 will lose a tempo after d takes c4, bishop takes c4. But white can argue that black had to spend a tempo taking the pawn on c4.
Oh, shakalaka! Oh, yes!
Now we have just reached one of the most exciting parts of the game. White just captured the bishop on e7. The question is, how should black recapture? With the knight or with the queen? Now, this is the variation board. We're going to take a look at knight takes e7. After bishop takes e7, knight takes e7. Now, the question is, what black will do with the bishop on c8 that's closed in. Following this line, a possibility is rook to c1. And after a5, the game continues. Queen d2, b6, castle kingside, bishop b7, placing the bishop on the a8 to h1 diagonal, rook on f to d1, knight g6, e4, queen c7, eyeing the pawn on h2, h4, h6, h5, knight e7, knight h2, knight f6. One idea is to push the pawn on c6 to c5, after which the knight on f6 and bishop on b7 will double attack the pawn on e4, e5, pushing the pawn, knight on f to d5, knight e4, going to the d6 square. Halftime is over and the game continues. Coming up shortly will be Henry Bird versus
William Steinitz. In this line, Alekhine captured with the queen. He comes up with an amazing plan. He's going to trade off his bad bishop on e6 after pushing the e-pawn, which is a long-term plan. After securing the queen side, Capablanca plays the queen to e2, planning to push the e-pawn. Black stops the plan of him pushing the pawn to e5 by pushing his pawn to e5. And now comes the trade of the light square bishops. And now introducing the next world contenders. Playing the white side, Henry Bird, and playing the black side, William Steinitz. You may start. The Ruy Lopez opening. White advances the e-pawn,
That's it!
taking the e5 square away from black.
Oh, yes!
Usually in the Ruy Lopez, when the knight moves from e4, it usually moves to d6, but it's unable to in this line because of the pawn on e5.
White creates central tension. How will the tension in the center be resolved?
The queen is centralized. This move, f2 to f4, further stakes claim to White's initiative on the king side and center. Furthermore, the bishop on b5 is a problematic piece for Black. That is why either a6 is often played or even c6 sometimes, so that Black can break the pin and will be able to play d5. For example, c6. But in the game, b6 is played. Black creates the threat of moving the bishop on e7 to c5, where it will pin White's queen. In view of this threat, White uses a stratagem called prophylaxis. What is prophylaxis? Prophylaxis is prevention. Simply put, the idea of prophylaxis is to stop your opponent's plans before proceeding with your own. Moves that safeguard your position are often far more prudent. F5. Queen E4, aiming for the rook on A8. Black takes the rook. And one more note on prophylaxis. I made a video on this subject and I have posted the link in the description. So make sure you check it out at the end of this video. And the game continues. F6. Check, King H1. And instead of returning the material, Black attempts to save the rook. Black is in Zeus swing. And now for the next World Championship match. Introducing our next contenders. Playing the white side, Mikhail Tal, and playing the black side, Andrei Sokolov. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you may start.
We have a Catalan. After capturing the pawn on c4, this c file is now an open file. White's knights are aggressively placed in the center. Now it's halftime. We're going to take a look at some middle game principles.
General middle game principles. Eliminate pawns and remove defending knights or other pieces. Overall, these pawns will be located somewhere in or around the center, but you gotta keep the momentum going. Removing pawn barriers and making pawn breaks. Also, you want to weigh the advantages and disadvantages. Keep in mind that you accept a disadvantage in one area in order to exploit your advantage in another. And if you're playing positional, then your advantages accumulated gradually. Halftime is over. Now returning to the game.
I just got a new coat still.
Okay.
Got a little brand new feel. Not so fast, switch play, cut your car wheel. I'm on top, self-made, I'm the real deal. Yeah.
In this line, white sacrificed the knight on f7 and is now going on a vicious attack. Will black escape? Fast forwarding, now we're going to look at in-game technique. Here, the endgame consists of 2 power pieces, 2 rooks versus 2 bishops. Who is better here, white or black? Type a 1 in the comments if you believe that white is better. Type a 2 in the comment section if you think that black is better.